In this video, we are going to be learning how to construct triangles when we are given two sides and an angle. So for this exercise, we'll be needing a pencil, very sharp, but not so sharp that it begins to tear the page of your book. And we'll be needing a pair of compass and then a short pencil attached to it. Should also be sharp and well tightened here so that it doesn't move in the course of the drawing to disrupt what we do. And then of course a ruler, straight edges and everything. Now we've been asked to construct a triangle ABC such that the line AB is 8.4 cm, BC is 6.5 cm, and angle ABC is 30 degrees. Now, before we construct, the first thing we need to do is to have a sketch of the triangle so that it will be a guide for our construction. We don't just start constructing. And for me personally, I like to have the longest side of the triangle at the bottom side of the page. So if I'm to sketch, I'm going to have, this is the longer side, right? 8.4 cm down here, 8.4 cm. And then that is A and B, right? So BC is going to, okay, and then the angle, we now incorporate the angle. The angle is ABC. So if this is A, this is B, so this angle is going to be this way. So 30 degrees is going to come here. This is going to be C. And then BC is 6.5. And then we are going to join AC, right? So this is a sketch of the angle. It mustn't look this way, but this is just the sketch. Okay. Now let's go. I'm going to have the line. So looking at this sketch that we have, I'm going to have this line drawn. So I'm going to have 8.4 centimeters. So the cm side of the rule, I'm going to have 8.4 cm drawn. So this is 8 cm. So 8.4 is here, right? Just the point before 8.5. So this is 8.4. And then from here, I'm going to draw till point 8.4. Right? So we're going to measure that out. This is A, this is B. Okay, so the angle is going to be at B from our sketch. I hope we know how to construct angle 30 degrees by now. So to construct 30 degrees, at that point, that ending point, we're going to draw this and then make sure it's at this point of intersection. We're going to make this mark. This is angle 60 degrees, right? So 30 degrees is bisection of this angle 60 degrees. So at this point, right, where they intersect, we're going to draw an arc. At this point, right, we are going to draw an arc. This point of intersection, that is the bisection of this 60 degrees. So this is 30 degrees. Okay, so we are going to draw a line and then have that line be long enough. So using the pencil, we're going to make sure that that line is going to pass through this point and pass through this beginning part. So we place our ruler correctly and then pass it, right? Make it long enough. Good. When we've done that, we are now going to remember that line BC is 6.5 cm from our sketch. So we are going to come to this rule and then measure out 6.5 centimeters. Make sure there is no parallax error, right? Okay, so this is exactly 6.5, and then we are going to make sure this comes here, right? When we've measured out 6.5 cm, we are going to place the sharp end of the compass here, and then we are going to draw this. So this point of intersection, that is the 6.5, and that is where C lies, right? So we are now going to join AC together with a straight line, making sure it passes through this point of intersection and this point. Once you've laid it properly, you're going to test again with your pencil to make sure it will pass through those points. So we join. We've constructed this triangle. And since we've constructed a triangle, we now name it. So this is 30 degrees. Okay, this is 8.4 centimeters. This is 6.5 centimeters. And then you might be asked other questions. You might be asked to measure AC, and you might be asked to maybe locus of a point which is equidistant from these two lines, or anything of that nature. You can now do it, but we are just focused on constructing triangles. Now let's practice one more. Construct triangle PQR such that PR is 6 cm, PQ is 8.5 cm, and angle PQ and angle QPR is 120 degrees. Okay, so the first thing we do is to sketch, right? So I like to have the longer side lying horizontally. So I'm going to have this longer side PQ being 8.5 cm. So the angle is now the next thing we incorporate. QPR, QPR. So the angle is going to be here. 120 degrees. 120 looks something like this, right? So this becomes R, and then PR will be 6 cm. So here will be 6 cm, and then we now join this. So this is the sketch. It mustn't look like this. Always remember that. Just have your sketch. It is the plan before you now start your construction. Just like in making a building, in building a house, you first of all start with a plan, and then you now know what to construct. Okay, so we are going to have that 8.5 cm measured out horizontally like this. So this is 8.5, right? So measure carefully, and that is P and Q. Then, okay, I didn't even indicate the angle is here, right? Okay, so the angle is here. Oh, I should have made my diagram to move this way. I just hope. Okay, so using a suitable radius, we are going to make that arc, right? We are to make 120 degrees. So the first one is 60 degrees. And then at that point of intersection, when you draw the next one, that will be 120 degrees. When you draw the next, that will be 180 degrees. Okay, so this is 120 degrees. So we are now going to draw a line that is going to pass through here. And remember, it is 6 centimeter line, right? So we are going to get the rule, measure out 6 centimeters. So this is it. Measure out 6 centimeters. When we've done that, we are now going to place the sharp points at this end, P, and then make an arc, right? Make an arc. Now, when we've made that arc, we are now going to have a line, a straight line that will pass through this point, and then end at where it meets the arc. Okay, so this is the point, right? We are just going to make sure it passes through these 2 points, right? So if you test it, always test it, then the line has to end at the arc wherever it touches it. So that is it. That means this is R, this is point R. Okay, so we are done with our diagram. This is 120 degrees, this is 6 cm, this is 8.5 centimeters, and then for QR we just join. Make sure it touches this end and this end. We draw the line. You see it? It almost looks like the sketch, but it doesn't look like it. So this is it. I hope you've learned how to construct triangles when given two sides and an angle.